exactly is lighting up on this PCR test then? This genetic sequence, how are they linking this to the virus?
So it turns out that they're linking it to the virus because they have a what they call, and the word is exactly a theoretical genome of a theoretical virus that was based on the theoretical genome of a theoretical SARS virus in 2003. So even the first SARS virus, they didn't have an example of that either. So basically, they're assuming that these two snippets that they're using in the PCR test must come from the theoretical virus. Now, how do they make the genome? They basically, they take people who have a certain sickness and they say, we make these snippets of these genetic sequences. And they interestingly have some wobbles in them, so they don't even know the exact snippets that they're using. And then they see if that matches something in the secretions of that person. Now, it turns out a guy I know did a BLAST study, which means you can go to the Human Genome Project website and actually put in the sequences that they're using that they say have come that are unique to this coronavirus, right? You can put them in and you can see if there's any matches in the human genome. And it turns out there are 93 examples in the typical human genome of exactly those sequences. In other words, these sequences are not unique to any coronavirus. First of all, if you don't have the coronavirus to isolate and then characterize, you can't possibly know that that's coming from that. So how did they do it? So why do they say they have the whole genome? So they say these two sequences must have come from the coronavirus, even though now we know that there's 90 of the identical sequences in the human genome and approximately 91 that come from microbes, fungus and bacteria. On the BLAST search, it lights up 90 plus sequences from bacteria and fungus, many of which might be living with us, that have these same sequences. So, but what they do is they take these two pieces of a total of 8 or 9 different genes that are the whole genome. So they have 2 of them, which they say must be coming from this virus, even though they're not. And then they put that in their computer, and the computer fills out the rest. Now, here's an example of that. It's like I say, I want you to make an exact Lego copy of King Beauregard's castle from 1200. And then I spread all the Lego pieces out. And the first thing that any rational human being would say is, can you show me a picture of the castle?
Yes.
No. Why not? Because we're not doing that. Okay, so you say to yourself, this is nuts. But then you say, I'll give you $1 million this year if you do it. So, okay, you do it. And so then you start looking and you find a moat and a turret and a flag. And then you say, I know that turrets and moats must be from castles. So this must be from King Beauregard's castle. And then you have a moat and a turret and a window and a soldier. And then you put that in a computer and it generates the whole castle. That's exactly what they have. They have snippets of DNA. They don't know where they're coming from. It turns out they match with 93 segments from us, 90 from microbes, and then the computer fills in the rest. And that's what they mean by the whole genome. And it's a fraud.